Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for taking time out of your evenings to kind of join us for this candidate forum tonight. My name is Carcasson. I'm an associate professor of communication at Colorado State University and also the director of the CSU Center for Public Deliberation. I started the center about 5 years ago. It serves as an impartial resource in Northern Colorado just to kind of help us have better conversations about political issues and spark and improve community problem solving. Like 2 years ago, we worked kind of with Pathways Past Poverty to kind of develop these questions, and I'll be facilitating the discussion as we go today. Like Mariah said, Pathways Past Poverty is a community effort. And the kind of philosophy of the Center for Public Deliberation and P3 in many ways is that communities solve problems and they work together. So a lot of the perspective of this is across perspectives, political perspectives, and also across sectors. We need kind of nonprofit and public and private working together to kind of deal with these issues. Certainly moving people from poverty to self-sufficiency will require individual effort and individual responsibility, but the community also needs to provide opportunity. So that's why the way the questions were written, and as we'll look at the answers that the candidates give, is to kind of think about particularly kind of their role as public officials potentially, but again, the broader work of Pathways Past Poverty, government is just one aspect of that, right? And the community has a big input in kind of going through with these issues. So the questions were developed by the Pathways Past Poverty Policy Committee. They were sent to the candidates a week or so ago, so they all had them before them. You all have them before you because they're really long questions. These are complicated issues. So we wanted to ask questions. The questions provide some information, provide some context, but you'll probably want that in front of you. You're not going to just be able to understand the question from me walking through it once. So you have those in front of you. We gave them to them early so they get a chance to kind of do research and kind of think through their answer and provide that answer today. So I'll be asking the questions, and then they'll each get a chance to answer those 6 questions, up to 3 minutes each for those questions. We kind of went through a little process that we'll start with a different person each time, and we'll go different directions every other question, so everyone gets a chance to answer first and answer last, and we'll switch back and forth for the opponents of who gets the answer. The discussion today is also, it's a candidate forum, not a debate. With the Center for Public Deliberation, we try to kind of think of different ways of communicating, and instead of debate, which can sometimes mean people kind of talking past each other and focusing on kind of attacking the other side versus kind of expressing their own opinion, we're going to try to do things a little bit differently today. So we got ground rules posted, and we also sent these to the candidates beforehand. So the ground rules that will govern the discussion today. First, follow the time constraints, and I have some of my students will be helping. So right there in front in the green, we'll give you little cards, tell you how much time you have left. So we have 3 minutes per question. Focus on the questions asked. So we gave them to you beforehand, so we do want you to answer the actual question that you're asked. Focus on sharing your ideas, not attacking others. Modern politics is criticized sometimes for focusing a little bit too much on winning elections and scoring political points rather than solving problems. So tonight we're going to try to lean a little bit more on that side, kind of focus all together. We want to know their ideas for dealing with these issues. And certainly distinctions between the questions can come up, and they can, the last ground rules may certainly respond to others during your time, but do so constructively in the spirit of the forum. So if there's a key difference, part of what we need to understand as voters are what are the key differences between them. So we can talk about that, but it's not a debate. We'll not be able to go back and forth between the candidates that much. So we do ask them to kind of focus on their ideas and what they think we should do versus simply discussing what their opponent may believe. So with that, I'll ask the candidates, do you agree to play by these rules today? Kind of a show of hands? All right. Research shows that that's important. Public acceptance of the rules, and we'll see if we can get it. And I will say that we're also audio taping and videotaping tonight's one, so we'll put that on the web for the people that were able to make it tonight can see the answers to these questions. All right, so with no further ado, we will start with the first question. With the first question, we're actually going to start with Senator Lundberg and then head that way. So the first question, this is a short question. For our initial question, we invite you to introduce yourself to our audience and explain what you believe is the role of a state representative or senator in addressing issues related to poverty.
Thank you very much. First, let me ask, is this microphone sufficient at this distance? Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, we won't fiddle with it too much then. Secondly, I thank you for holding this forum. I believe it is important. Poverty or the issue of the people on the lowest tier of the economic spectrum are always a big concern at the government level. And for myself, I have been in the legislature I'm in my 8th year now. Spent 6 years in the House and now 2 years in the Senate, and I'm running for re-election to the legislature, to that Senate seat, Senate District 15. And a little bit of background before that, I was and continue to be involved in the business of media production. The reason I bring that up is I chose that profession some decades ago, about 30 years ago, because I saw a need for nonprofit organizations to tell their story, to be more efficient and effective in what they do in, for the most part, dealing with people who have great needs. In many ways, dealing with the issue of poverty as well. So in those years, I've dealt with literally dozens of nonprofit organizations here in the state of Colorado, in Larimer County, and indeed across the country. And it's given me a pretty good perspective on what works and what doesn't work. I am a conservative, I am a Republican. I am not in favor of the government doing it all. As a matter of fact, I believe our Constitution gives a very different picture. It speaks of providing for the general welfare for the people. Now, does that mean providing an environment where the overall welfare is improved, or does that mean providing specific welfare programs? I believe there is a need for a basic safety net, but really, and this is from my personal experience with nonprofit organizations working with people in poverty, the real solutions lie on the private side. Hence, I believe public policy should foster that environment much more and not seek to replace as much as to simply support. There is a time and a place for us to have certain programs in place. But when I look through the 12 points you have, I can see some that are very important. One in particular I'll mention because I have 15 seconds left, and that is goal number 4, good jobs. To me, that is priority number 1 for myself in the legislature, and I believe that will help address the issue of poverty in a very big way. Thank you.